Okay, guys, so you were looking at your bell work, and we have 3 new words to add to our vocabulary. Somebody raise your hand and tell me about the first one. Brendan.
The first one was mixed numbers, and it was sum of a whole number and a fraction. 1 and 1/2, 2 and 3/4, 4 and 5/8 are mixed numbers.
Okay, so a mixed number is a whole number and a fraction. So like 4 and 5/8. Good. The next one I do believe was proper fraction.
Yes.
Dante, talk to me about a proper fraction.
A fraction that has a numerator like its denominator.
A numerator less than its denominator. So like 3/4. These are normal fractions. Okay, Haley, tell me about the last one.
Improper fraction. A fraction that has a numerator that is greater or equal to the denominator. The value of an improper fraction is greater than or equal to 1.
Okay, so you might have 15/8 because the numerator is larger than the denominator, but then she also said, or if the numerator is equal to the denominator, like 7/7. Okay? Yes, sir.
Are you going to
Yes. Yes, sir.
So 16/8 means 1 and 3.
So, you guys are talking about where we are headed today. We are going to first talk about how we would take a mixed number and turn it into an improper fraction. And then we're going to take an improper fraction and turn it into a mixed number. That's why I was saying we're going to have 2 different sections for today's notes. This should not be the first time that you've seen this material. Hopefully it is a refresher to you. Okay? All right. So, first example. Starting off with the title, we are going to be doing mixed numbers to improper fractions. So if I started off with a mixed number, say 2 and 2/5. There are some steps that I'm going to do, and for this one I'm going to write the steps down, okay? So step 1, we're going to multiply the denominator by the whole number. So multiply the denominator by the whole number. So in this case, we would be doing 5 times 2, right?
10.
Which is 10. So we've got that. 5 times 2 equals 10. That's step 1. Step 2, you're going to take the answer from step 1. So take your answer. Does anybody know what you do? Nami?
Add it to the numerator.
And add the numerator. Good. So I take this 10 and I add the numerator, which is 2. So 10 plus 2 is 12. My final step is how I show my answer. So I put the answer and do what with it?
Put it on top of the denominator.
And put it on top of the denominator. Good. Which would make it 12 over 5. So this is equal to 12 over 5. Refresher?
I have no idea what that is.
Okay. Well, as we go through, because last hour I felt the same way, it was kind of like, what? Because we're not going to look at it this wordy every time, okay? As we go through and do some practice problems, you'll get used to it and you'll see the process. Gavin? Right. But we're going to use that in proper fraction later when we start talking about multiplication and division. Okay? Right now it's just the practice of going back and forth. Okay? Nami? Yes. Okay. Let's do another example. Let's go with 4 and 3/8. Yes. No, I'm not writing every step. So the first thing that I do, and I'm going to kind of use arrows to guide you, is I take that denominator and I multiply it by the whole number. I do 8 times 4. 32. Which gives me 32. I equals 32. I'm kind of working the circle away around my whole numbers. Okay? Now, I take this 32 and I add the 3 to it, which gives me 35. And I bring my denominator straight over. Okay? Once we take out the words, it makes more sense. I just wanted to make sure that we wrote down the steps so that when you go back and you're thinking, now what am I supposed to do? You can look back in your notes and understand the process. Okay? Yes, good. I'm glad some light bulbs are coming on. He's like, I remember this. All right, let's try another one. 7 and 5, 9. 7 and 5, 9. What's the first thing I'm going to do, Griffin? Multiply 7 times 9, which gives me what? 63. Then what am I going to do, Brody? I've got that. What's my next step? And what is that going to give me? Haley, help him out.
68.
Okay, 68. There we go. Now, this is my top number. This is my numerator now. What is my denominator? 9. It stays the same. Okay, Brendan.
When we're actually doing this on sheets and paper for like homework and stuff, can we draw the arrows and all that?
Okay, so I'm glad that you mentioned that. You said when we're doing this on our homework, can we draw the arrows? I'm totally fine with you doing this kind of stuff on your paper. That's not going to bother me. If you are able, if you need to do it like this, good. If you can do it like this, good. Either way is fine with me. Okay, you've got to do what works best for you. Abby. So the way that I would see this, just like how we did the simplifying fractions, you showed 2 fractions that were equal to each other on the line. This is what my final thing that I would want to see. Okay? I'm okay with that. All right, the next section. Any questions about that before we move on to going the other way? Okay. Now we're going to do improper fractions. No, you can keep going. Just give it a different, a new section heading. To mixed numbers. You'll be good, because we're not going to do word sets.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so say that we start off with 5/3. And you're supposed to take this improper fraction and put it into a mixed number. Several people can look at this, they already know what to do, and they already have the answer in their head, okay? I want to show you what you're doing, all right? So the way that I've always done this is I draw a division house right next to my denominator, and what kind of happens here is this numerator kind of drops in here. It's going to take a tumble into the division house. And then you divide. How many times can 3 go into 5? Once, and you multiply around, and then you get this remainder. Okay? This one we are going to do a little bit of labeling. Okay? So this one, your number on top, the quotient, this is your whole number. Your remainder is the numerator. And the denominator stays the same. Okay? Okay. So let's do some practice problems. What if we had 9/5? Again, I know some of you can do this in your head. Some of you need to write it out. When they are simpler problems like this, I'm okay with you doing it in your head and writing the equal sign and writing the mixed number. But if they are more difficult, they have larger numbers on top or on bottom, let's see a little bit of work, okay? Max, walk me through this one.
Okay, so you're going to do 9, and it's -5, right?
You got to divide these.
And 5 can go into 9 one time. And then you subtract 5 from 9, which gives you 4. And then your number on top is the whole number, and the 4 is the numerator.
So 1 4/5. All right, let's do one more example.
What?
Gavin?
So another way to do this, what you can do is,
Guys.
you times 5 and go to 9, so it'd be 1, so that would be the whole number, and then however many are left, you can 4, if you're numerator.
Yeah, exactly. You're just doing the division in your head. I'm just writing it out like this so people can see exactly the stuff that you're supposed to be doing. Griffin.
I noticed that when you subtract the numbers and the divisions, the 2 bottom numbers are the numerator and denominator.
Cool. All right, try this one on your own. 15/7. Try it on your own. And then talk to me about this problem. 2/7. Okay, so let's look at this one. If we have 15/7, 7 goes into 15 2 times. 2 times 7 is 14. Subtract and get 1, and you have 2 and 1/7. Good. Any questions? Okay, you are going to be looking at 2 different sections for your assignment today. Notice this is 8 through 15, and then you're skipping 16 and 17 and doing 18 through 25. The first one, you're going to be taking a mixed number and putting it into an improper fraction. The second section is improper fractions to a mixed number.
There.
Oh.
That's 14.
17 minutes.